bid you all good morning, good evening, and good night, wherever you be watching this transmission. Welcome to Commonwealth for Common People. And I just wanted to getting a ton of messages here on Skype. Remember, guys, this channel disclaimer, we do not offer investment advice or medical advice. We are opinion-driven, and we don't know anything, and we can't even read. This video should not be viewed by anyone ever. Welcome to Commonwealth for Common Folks. Commonwealth for Common People. Welcome to the show, guys. It's been a long day today. It's a very busy day today. It was so busy that I didn't even have time to eat my lunch today. Came home starving. So we got Ralphie.co.New Zealand, who is looking around for a server for our 24-hour radio that we got going on. I'm thinking of creating a channel that if it gets flagged and shut down, I don't care. Maybe just running 24 hours of creating a playlist, right? Creating a playlist. And then from that playlist, we go ahead and, if this makes any sense, just put all the videos, like some from Ralphie, a couple of Mike and the Knights, a couple of this, and let the playlist reshuffle and play through 24/7, right? So I think that might be a good idea going on in the future, going forward in the future, kind of like a 24-hour radio thing, but it's off of YouTube. I don't know if we want to kind of build any more of a stronger presence on YouTube. A lot of channels are doing videos of what we've been talking about here for about 7 years now, and they're just raking in the success. And, you know, we've been predicting here on this channel with trends in the housing market for, I don't know, a couple of hundred episodes, 4.5 years we were going live with trends in the housing market. So, So we got Mr. Spanky in the house. We got Lenny Poo in the house. Lenny Poo saying, I'm also stepping up my working game, Mike Martin's. Fun. Mitch Madden in the house. Green Tea, Freedom, and Truth in the house. His channel, I think it's still... I don't think he can upload yet to it. We'll take a look in a few seconds here. Anyways, guys, I hope everyone's doing well. Across the Commonwealth, hashtag Mike Martins or Mike in the Night. Commonwealth for common people, Commonwealth for common folks. Let me know what you guys think. We got the Raven says he wants to weigh in on Dr. Seuss. That is more of a Mike in the Night topic, and that is more of a Mike in the Night topic. We'll get Raven on Mike in the Night first caller if he gets some chance, if we get a chance. If he has a chance, if he's not working. So anyways, all right, guys, channel plug. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. The channel, I got like 30 subscribers in the last month, which is something that never really happens on this channel at all. I think in 2020, I got 2 subscribers in 2020. So that's not too bad. I'm already moving a little bit better than last year, but there are the upcoming streams. Set your reminders, and don't forget to check out Mike in the Night. This Saturday, we're going to have a big Mike in the Night show with tons of call-ins and lots of participation from all our viewers. Also, guys, don't forget to send me your tips on Instagram. Show tips on Instagram. I really need your tips here. I appreciate everyone that has sent them in. Also, guys, I'm on Facebook, but no one ever gets my stuff on Facebook, so it's not even worth it. I have 114,000 followers on Facebook, and nobody ever sees my stuff, so it's almost not even worth posting on Facebook anything. And guys, Teespring, guys, Ralphie.co.New Zealand, 24/7 radio. It would be really good to, he's shopping around for a server so we could get a 24-hour station going, broadcasting out of Auckland. So if that works, then maybe we could get something broadcasting out of Australia, and then something broadcasting out of the UK, and then Canada, and all over the Commonwealth and parts of the United States. That'd be really good. Also, artbydano.net. Don't forget to check out artbydano.net. Not your typical art. Really cool, affordable pieces here. Hand-drawn, real good stuff. Check it out. Check it out. All right, guys, welcome to Commonwealth for Common Folks. Appreciate everybody being here tonight. Guys, I'm a little bit slow tonight because I'm just rocking a headache right now. But I wanted to do tonight's show. I wanted to... someone's asking me about the 1999 U.S. minted Pokemon Charizard hologram card worth. I don't know. I have some Pokemon cards. I'm going to have to start digging them out and go through my... it's become a hot market right now Definitely a hot market with sports cards. Definitely a hot market from any weird, like, bizarro standpoints of Marvel cards, trading cards. I had to dig those up the other day. Those are going, you know what I'm saying? Everything's, you're seeing bizarro prices on certain sports cards. You're seeing all kinds of stuff happening. So it's kind of good that I started listing more stuff on eBay, because the price of some stuff is just absolutely phenomenal. I just can't fathom fathom how much things are going up, how much things have been going up. Inder has a good question. Hey, Mike, do you think variable rates are going to go up in Canada? Maybe. You know what? Variable rates always get hit first. Like, when you want to look at an indicator on the movement of rates, I usually notice that variable rates start to uptick slowly first, and then the fixed rates start to follow suit. I've noticed that over the years. You would always follow the variable rates first, and that gives you an indication because it's a freely moving rate. Okay? So you see the freely moving rates, and you're like, ooh, they're constantly upticking. So you're going to start to see a fixed. So if you're in a variable moving rate, you might want to keep an eye on the rate. And if you start seeing upticking, see if you can get a better closed deal. In Canada right now, they're offering less than 1% on mortgages. And that's a really good way to lock in at a cheaper rate. So we got Anna Kia saying Facebook needs to become a legacy platform. If I had a choice, I would take a locked rate right now. Inder's asking, would you take a variable rate or a lock? I would go with a locked right now. That's just me. I think things are in a very unstable territory or unsuitable territory. CJ is asking, Mike, do you think the price of home in Canada is linked to inflation or something else? You guys know on this channel that the price of home in Canada is linked to foreign investing and money laundering and shadow flipping and shadow lending. We've been covering that here for about 10 years now. And Canada would be in a recession if it wasn't for money laundering or criminals. And the money is made through fentanyl and opioid sales on the streets in Vancouver, Toronto, and our major cities, destroying our youth and families, and then the money gets redistributed either through casinos or through housing or whatever, shadow flipping or whatever, right? Okay, we got a lot of comments going through here. Inder says, thank you for asking. And then we got... Yeah, Ralphie's got a good point. Always go for locked fixed rate because it's better for budgeting too. So you could budget a year or 2 years down the road. Mr. Spanky saying, I pray that your headache will be relieved. Thank you for sticking it out with us. I'll be fine, guys. I'll live. It's just... I didn't have time to eat lunch, and the store got really busy towards the end, which was really nice. Rates in Australia are sitting at 1.99 points. That's Aniki, and she's saying that's out of Australia right now. So you're going to see a 1% or under 1% rate hit in Australia. So hit in Australia maybe in July of 2021, because there's no way Australia is going to keep going with the rate. They just can't do it. All right, guys, let's open a few articles here, and let's do this here, guys. Let's find out what's going on. So, I believe that housing is tied towards towards foreign investing, and that's it. So here it is. Not for the faint of heart. Average Toronto home passes 1 million mark in February. This is from yesterday's date. I just sold something on eBay. Speaking of eBay, I just made a big, sounds like a big, did you hear that? I don't know if you guys heard that cash register make some noise. Yep. All right. I just sold something on eBay. Good. Okay, guys. So take a look at this. Not for the faint of heart. Average Toronto home passes 1 million mark in February. So there it is. Toronto's housing market soared to new heights in February, even as the average home price surpassed 1 million for the first time in recent buying frenzy intensified. Now, let's go back here. Now, this is Toronto, but they're actually factoring in parts of the greater Toronto area. And are actually starting to see these massive upticks. So Toronto's a pretty big land mass of a city. So the city of Toronto is a lot bigger than its downtown core than people think. The city of Toronto, I think, ends at Steeles Avenue, all the way from like Yonge Street or wherever you're going down, all the way up. It's a big city. It's not a city that you could even have 2 airports in that city and it would work. That's how big Toronto is. So I'm thinking, like, so when they're actually talking about some of the GTA areas here in this article, which is very scary. So let's move on for the next article here. Let's go back to article scan. So we got Green Tea saying it's almost free money from the banks. It is 0 interest. It is. Yeah, no constant surprises with locked rate. No constant surprises. Scott Guilford said Nixon announced the dollar being taken off the gold standard during the episode of Bonanza on TV. That's right. It was a special message, and that was in 1971. But the thing is that when they did that, they had to do that because they had to go to war. And you cannot, that's my opinion. Again, this is my opinion. I believe that America could not go to war with a gold-backed currency. It won't work. It's unaffordable. It just doesn't make, you can't do it. You can't have a gold-backed currency and declare war on the world. You can't do it. It doesn't fly. So Mitch Madden saying, I'm seeing ridiculous home prices junk for big bucks. I've seen this show before. Yeah, Mitch, you've been following us here and what's been happening in Canada the last 10 years. You know what's junk for bucks. All right, so here it is, guys. This is the housing story of the night, and I hope everyone could brace themselves for this because this is a true story. This is not fiction. Vancouver real estate prices rip higher as detached home prices rise $44,000 last month. You can't make this up. $44,000 last month. So this is the Greater Vancouver. So now we're looking at Greater Vancouver are once again armed with cheap debt. Data shows composite prices made a big jump in February. Actually, almost all measures of home prices made a big leap. Some segments even added more than $44,000 to value in just last month alone. So they divide the numbers here, and condos are not faring too well. The benchmark composite is over here, and then you got your detached right here. Detached obviously is more popular right now. Detached is what everybody wants, because nobody wants to, especially with this ravaging COVID that's going on. And yeah. Canada's over 30% more dependent on real estate than the U.S. is in 2006, shows our GDP. So there it is, residential investment, and there's our GDP right there. So there it is right there. You could see that Canada is very, very heavily dependent on real estate for its GDP. There's Canadian residential investment percentage of GDP. That is huge, almost 10 points. So Canada is becoming more and more dependent on real estate on every single possible angle. Now, you're probably wondering, like, okay, so the Canadians are buying and selling homes? No, Canadians are not in this game. The Canadian proper is not in this. They don't have a fight in this, and they don't have a dog in this fight. I don't know if that's proper English, how they say it. But I don't think they have a dog in this fight. So, a lot of Canadians don't have a dog in this fight, unless they bought out of the cities, which I've been forcing and telling people, get out of Toronto, get out of Sydney, get out of Vancouver, get out. And I did it myself. I left the big city. I bought a house for $260, and now I got my my thing here. It's over here. I got my appraisal, or whatever you call it, assessment, and it's like $540. And there's a guy selling a house down the street from me, and the entire house needs to be entirely renovated. entirely renovated, and he's asking 770,000 big ones, 770 large for it. So I just wanted to. So I was sorry, I get a lot of messages here on eBay. No, ignore that. I'm just telling him. No, ignore that. I'll send it like. Okay. Yeah, I've been selling a lot of stuff on eBay lately. Everything's been hot lately. So everyone's like excited about stuff. So yeah. Jay Smith saying, I'm getting my popcorn ready and ready for those 400,000 immigrants to come in this year. Woo! No, that's changed because right now Canada's got its hat in the ring right now. Canada's fighting Australia and New Zealand and the UK for wealthy immigrants coming in from Hong Kong. So I'm just reading the comments here. We got Leaf. So we got Leaf in the house. Apparently he made some sort of Joker video. Maybe you can leave a link in the comments. Okay, so let's go back here. So there it is right there. Canada's over 30% more dependent on real estate than the U.S. in 2006, shows GDP. This is a big deal. The correction that's coming to Canada is going to make America's 2008 look like a walk in the park. WestJet to lay off undisclosed number of pilots amid labor negotiations. Imagine you spent your entire life training to become a pilot and then realize you're getting laid off. Oh my God. WestJet Airlines lot says is laying off an undisclosed number of pilots amid negotiations with the union that represents them. So there it is. There it is. They're going to be laying off more people to restructure. Bombardier to lay off about 1,600 workers. Bombardier said Thursday it will reduce its overall workforce by about 1,600 jobs, and it anticipates a years-long recovery in the aviation industry. So it's going to take about a year. We know, if you follow the channel, Texas is reopened. We covered that yesterday. Texas is fully reopened. No social distancing, no masks, no nothing. And everything's full capacity for... at full capacity right now. So things are looking okay right now for the state of Texas. So Texas is leading or showing by demand or showing by demonstration or being the big brother and leading. The Lone Star State is leading in reopening in the United States of America. Jay Smith says Canada lowered the bar to get in from 400 points to 70 points. Pretty much anyone can get in now. Yes, but the thing is, for European immigrants, it's not going to fly. Depends where you're from in Europe. There's a lot of countries that you're not allowed in the country. So it's there's a lot of countries that are not well. There's a lot of torn families in the Greek community, Portuguese community, Polish community, Hungarian community, where they have some family here and some family in Europe, and a lot of people are going back to Europe because the Europeans it's very hard for European to immigrate into Canada now. It was easy back in the 70s and 80s, 60s, 70s and 80s when the country was being built. Now that the infrastructure is in place, it's like automated workers or automation or robots to take over. They don't need anymore, so they're kind of, then Lindy Poo saying that is because Texas was not going to comply anyway. They had enough. Lead by example, says Jolt 50. J Bolt 50. JJ says Jet Plane says, anybody had issues with a root canal before? Yeah, guys, look into that. Look into your root canal because I've heard of a lot of horror heart condition stories. Sorry for going off topic. Jem Rose, forcing yourself to be numb is the only way to handle this. If you let the destruction hit you, you are sentient. It will swallow you whole. Wow, that's pretty deep. Bonanza equals blank check. Oh, the comments are on fire tonight. Okay, let's go. Let's continue here. So there it is, guys. Bombardier to lay off more people. So this one's from today's news. German regulator steps in as Greenwell warns of threat of 50,000 jobs. Finance group cautions on risk as clients as it seeks insolvency protection in Australia. Rescue with Apollo. So there it is. It's Greensill Bank in Australia, and it looks like they're going to be laying off 50,000. It's a German regulator, so watch out. 50,000 jobs in Australia. So here it is. Automation. We talked about automation. So I'm not sure, Canada's competing for wealthy investors. Well, they're not looking for more, I guess, workers, so to say. So automation set to gut 1.5 million jobs from Australian economy. That is a lot of jobs. So this is from a week and a half ago. Australia's job market will shrink 11% by 2030 due to the rise of increasingly capable automation technology, knocking 1.5 million people out of work and stranding a million people, beyond a digital divide. A new study say the global technology research firm Forrester has warned. So there it is right there. There's they break down human-centric, machine and human, and machine-centric. So there it is right there. That's what they're going for right there. Machine and human-centric is up here, of course, and they're looking for this. This is what they want to have right here. They want to have robots calling you at your house. Hi, I'm calling you as a service provider for your internet. I got 2 internet. I just got the new internet here at the house, the fiber optics. And I'm very disappointed to say I've already got 2 solicitation calls in a week after installing it 2 days ago. Very disappointed. Oh no, did I spell common folks wrong? Oh no, did I spell it wrong? Oh no, I probably did. Knowing me. Oh, did I spell it wrong here? Hold on, let's see here. No, that's folks. Anyways, guys, let's move on here. We got lots to cover here in today's show. I just hope everyone's doing great out there. It is just nuts when it comes to jobs. It's nuts when it comes to layoffs. It is nuts. I mean, when it comes to anything. Okay, so let's keep moving on here. I thought I had a spelling error somewhere on one of our major. Somebody was trying to correct my spelling there, which has been my lifelong story here. All right, back to the news. So here it is. Now, Amerifornia, I'm a true believer in Amerifornia, and I've been talking about Amerifornia for a long time now. So what's happening in America? Well, it's getting taken over, and Texas is missing more than 500,000 houses. We're one of the worst states for housing shortages. So Amerifornia is going to start in Texas because you have a lot of people moving from Arizona into California. From Arizona now, because it's becoming unaffordable. And people are moving into Texas. And Texas doesn't have enough homes to house a lot of these people. And that's where you're going to start to see Amerifornia. Housing shortages. And the thing is, with these states like Texas, Arkansas, Florida, like North and South Carolina, Georgia, they haven't experienced the empty home phenomena like the entire West Coast has, from Vancouver all the way down to San Diego. They haven't experienced the vacant homes, not only that, but the massive poverty levels and the massive homelessness. So you think it's pretty bad going to some ghetto areas or some. Watch what's going to happen in 10 years to go to just any area going forward. It's going to get really hard, and Amerifornia will come. David V is saying we're going to have first contact in 2021. I think I have a Kobe Bryant and Allen Iverson rookie cards. Wow, says Stevie Stevens. Yeah, live chatbots piss me off, says Stevie. I hate that. The other day I told you guys I tried to get something done with eBay. What a nightmare to talk to somebody. I had to cancel the order on the guy because it's a long story, but still, this is just absolute disaster. All right, let's keep going here. So huge housing shortage in Texas. Guys, New York lawmaker proposes converting empty offices and hotels into affordable housing. So there it is. State lawmaker introduced legislation this week that would allow New York to buy financially distressed commercial buildings and convert them into housing for low-income and homeless New Yorkers. The Housing Our Neighbors with Dignity Act, sponsored by State Senate Michael Gennarius, includes a purchase and conversion of office buildings and hotels that are up for sale. So there it is. There's a Wall Street Journal reporting on this. There it is right there, folks. And New York is getting hit pretty bad because the people that are not leaving New York, a lot of them are, a lot of people that are going to stay behind are the ones that can't afford to rent a moving vehicle, the ones that are, in the situation where they have no way to leave the state because they're broke or, a lot of people are skilled. A lot of people have degrees that are homeless, and this is becoming a bigger and bigger phenomena across America. Amerifornia. We need an Amerifornia song. 5 Arizona. Oh man, we're going across the states today. 5 Arizona market predictions for 2021. Let's go right to the bottom. Lastly, buyers are putting down a lot more cash. We expect to see buyers continue to put more than 20% down in order to avoid paying for a mortgage insurance. Buyers will not only have lower mortgage payments and possibly lower interest rates, but sometimes an appraisal isn't needed, which could save the average $600. So there it is. They're trying to save a bit of money here and there in Arizona, when in Canada, if you're in Vancouver or the Vancouver area, your house went up $44,000 last month. In a month. So I don't know who out there thinks this is normal. You know what? I'm going to get Lenny Poo on to comment on this. I'm getting tired here. Let me get Lenny Poo on.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Lenny.
How are you?
I'm okay. I just got a throbbing headache.
Oh, here, I'm going to put your... There you go.
Yeah.
Throbbing headache.
Okay, I was wondering, Lenny, if you wanted to comment on detached home prices rose $44,000 last month. Maybe kind of give us an insight on that and how this could be a major humanitarian issue.
It could be a humanitarian issue, hey? Well, I mean, you can take... I think the humanitarian part was more with the homelessness, But then again, the homelessness is very much caused by like mental health issues and addictions, right? That really is what fuels homelessness, I would say, like the largest percent.
Okay. What about for example, people, I spoke to several people in Vancouver in the last couple of days. They say that they go to specific parks and there's hundreds of people sleeping in vehicles now.
Yeah, and even setting up tents in parks. That's right. My daughter was saying that too, and she was in Victoria. Like she said, it's kind of weird because you'll go to the park, which is normally just you go to the park, but now there'll be people living in public parks all over the place. It's skyrocketing. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm just trying to make sense of this. Housing to go $44,000 in a month, a detached home.
One month, yeah. That's a big jump. But in Vancouver, that's actually a small percentage of the total home price, right? Like their average price is what? And then $44,000, that's a small increase. That's probably in line with what's happening everywhere else. I'm thinking Winnipeg, we might be actually among the craziest numbers when you look at the ratio,
Hmm.
I would say, because say a house here, so our numbers are much smaller, but and me personally, so overall, like there's hundreds of deals going on a day, but just say even in my own experience, in a week and a half of being part of a bidding war, say a house that was 280,000, right, sold
Yeah.
for 389.
Oh, that reminds me of the house in Vancouver that sold. I think it was valued at 240,000, and it sold
Yeah.
for $8 million.
That's a little different because that story, it went way over. What it go 2 million over list or something? But that story is very out of context. That's the thing. It's like, what's the whole story? That's the headline, but was it was it way underpriced, or probably it's a kind of it's for land value.
Hmm.
That's not a house. That's land value. And where's the land? Is it on the ocean, up on a hill? Is it
Right.
actually, my guess is, if I looked into it, which I haven't, I bet you can develop like some big condo project there. It's most likely why the land's so valuable, right? You're going to just densify that spot. So that's a little misleading because when you see a headline,
Hmm.
it's just misleading. It's a headline that's 2 million over, but you don't know the entire story. There could be all kinds of very good reasons why, you know, get to the bottom of that. It's most likely not a residential spot unless it's super spectacular, which I doubt.
Okay.
I doubt.
I got another
Yeah.
article here. Canada's over
Yes.
30% more dependent on real estate than the U.S. in 2006 shows GDP. That's a big
Mm-hmm.
deal because, I mean, I think if there is a correction in these bigger cities in Canada, it's going to make the American correction in 2008 look like a walk in the park.
Yeah. Correction. That's a term that's thrown around very loosely because correction usually comes after. That's usually a term you would use if there was a short-term reason why something changed that affected the price. And interest rates aren't typically a short-term reason. A short-term might be, like bubble, same thing. It's something like corrections are when there's maybe, you know what it reminds me of? A beanie babies. It's like there's a short-term reason why those were a good buy and sell at the time. They were, that
Hmm.
reminds me of a beanie baby type of a market. That would be like a correction type of a market as well. Like that was a correction. No beanie baby is worth $2,000. That had to correct itself. But housing is very different because there could be a reason why there would be a correction. It's typically not an interest rate reason. Um, it'd be something more short term, like say coming to town was the Olympics. So
Hmm.
in the Olympic season, you would see a rush, you would see more need for rentals. That could fuel a bit of a change in a housing market, especially rentals, which mean like, wow, right? And hotels, say like certain uh, areas like that would be affected. But then when it goes away, there's a correction in the rental market in houses.
Hmm.
That to me sounds more correction. Interest rates consistently coming low for a bigger reason, and we all know there's various reasons, like say extra money printing or immigration. That's just a fact. They want that. They're displacing people on purpose to get immigration.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I think of that less as a correction. I really think that interest rates are gonna, yeah, hold steady, and that there's a reason why the prices are going up, and that's because the borrowing costs are going down. So your monthly payment is actually remaining the same. Your monthly payment hasn't changed, and that's what matters.
Hmm.
And
People are staying within
yeah,
their total debt service ratio, and that's why they got rid of most of the stress tests across Canada because people weren't qualifying. The stress tests worked in cities like Regina, Winnipeg,
us here, yeah.
Montreal. It
Hmm.
worked in those areas because then people could be within line and within reason of their expenditures. But when you stress test the same family in Vancouver, it just does not work.
Yeah, so a stress test means that so interest rates might be 3%, which they were. I mean, now they're not. But at the time when here they were 3%, your stress test was you had to qualify for like
5 points,
5%
yeah.
or 5.15 or something like that. That's your stress test. It means, yeah, right now you can afford the house because it's at this interest rate. But if our interest rates go up, will you still be able to make those payments? And that's where they test you on. You have to qualify for your mortgage at a 5% rate, even though you can get one at 3. Right now, you can get one, as you know, low as 0.99, but 1.5 is pretty normal around here these days. Wow, a lot of people are getting in at 1.5. That's giving away money.
It
So
is.
at 1.5, now they can spend more on a house with the same monthly payment. And so that is why house prices are going up, because it's competitive. So you're like, well, you know, what's my monthly payment going up if I throw a few more tens of thousands of dollars at it? And so they do. For some reason, our market, like 44,000 in 1 month, that makes total sense. That's what's happening. But, you know, it depends. That's a hot market. That's Vancouver for you. Vancouver also,
But
they
this is the
tend
greater
to,
Vancouver area too. This is not
yes,
just Vancouver. This is going within about a 95-mile radius.
right.
So
Yeah,
this is
whatever's
going to North
drivable into
Vancouver, West
town.
Vancouver, Richmond.
Hmm.
This is going all the way down to the U.S. border and going across up to Surrey, right? So
Their rental market's way down. I know that.
yeah,
All of Vancouver, all of Victoria, their rental market's down there. Tourism is way down. It's dead there for tourism,
the rental
which
market
is
is down
usually
because
busy.
the foreign students have been opting out to come to Canada for education.
Yeah, for the schools which are closed, and also the tourism. Tourism's way, way down. All kinds of things are down. So you have rentals for all kinds of reasons out there. I know they're renting. Like my daughter's out there, they're all working and kind of doing like the furnished rentals while they move from job work to work, you
Hmm.
know, and they're getting them at great rates, like great deals on these awesome furnished, gorgeous condos looking over the ocean at great prices
Hmm.
because there's no one there. No one's coming to visit right now. And work, you can go there for work, but maybe a lot of people have opted to not. And then, like you said, students, with school being so iffy, there's a lot of online learning.
So ready for this one? Not for the faint of heart. Average Toronto home passes $1 million mark in February.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's in line with what always happens Canada wide. They're always the highest. I mean, I can compare against us. Toronto's usually about 2.5 times us as their average. So that
Hmm.
makes sense because here in Manitoba, we're well into the threes. Well, and now would be your median home. I know that in Toronto, though, they try because $1 million home is so average, for okay, decent, pretty decent home. Although, you know what, their building codes are higher, so they actually have cooler houses. They have to have brick there. They don't have like here we can have stucco and some brick. That there they have to have all brick, so it looks pretty high end. They've done a good thing about that. They've got a really cool looking streets with they're just cool.
Hmm.
But yeah, a million. But what they try to do there, you'll see a lot of 999.99,
Hmm.
because as soon as you hit a million, you have to put 20% down in Toronto, right?
Hmm.
That's the mortgage thing. So they do have a huge, yeah, they've got a huge incentive to keep just under a million. You get a lot more buyers.
All right,
Yeah,
Lynn.
yeah.
BC, Ontario, and
Hmm.
Ontario are having a really tough time finding first-time home buyers at all.
Yeah.
That's a major issue. Now, what's going to happen?
Well, they keep having incentives for first-time home buyers. That's all
I
they
know
can.
in Australia
Yeah.
they were offering free toast with avocado, and then in
No.
London they were offering a free wine for a year. I mean, but
Wow.
realistically speaking, what's going to happen when if Canada or the major cities in Canada can the average Canadian born and raised in their own cities can't get into their own markets? What happens then?
Well, they keep having incentives. That's what happens. They will. They'll keep having incentives for first-time home buyers. It's big part of the gross domestic product, right? So you have to, it's not just because of homes, it's everything that comes with it. All the industries that are fueled by everything that is associated with home building. There's so many industries it fills. And then you got to live somewhere. You need housing and you need food. These are needs. You need, that's not going to stop. That's a good commodity. I mean, you're either going to be the one who pays your mortgage or you're going to be the one who pays your landlord's mortgage. But someone's paying for that. Right? And so a lot of people have that dream to own their own. Lots of immigrants who come here from all countries have their mindset of owning real estate because they don't come into a Canada pension plan the way we do. So they need to think about how they're going to retire. So the way they typically think, if you're an average-ish person, is they're going to definitely own their own home.
Well,
And
I'm
then
hearing
when they have
different
equity-
stories. I'm hearing completely different stories here on the Vancouver side. There's some people getting a Canada pension that maybe never worked in Canada, and that's kind of weird.
Are you sure?
I'm
never
very
heard
sure.
of that.
That actually was on the Sun. That was on the Sun.
Oh, we don't have, that's, well, the ones, maybe it's their deal. Maybe different people have different deals when they come, but I have clients from it just depends which country, but the different countries I see, no, they have a plan to own real estate for that reason. So you're right. Who you talking about? Chinese? Wow, that'd be pretty
there's
racist.
a lot of things happening, and there was a huge article that went on for about 3 months. Articles of a lot of people living in multi-million-dollar multi-million-dollar homes, and collecting welfare because their income is zero.
But I think Canada pension plan, you have to contribute, right?
No, I've heard a ton of stories, and it was actually
Oh.
published in the media that people in Canada never worked are getting some sort of a pension too.
Maybe it's not a Canada pension plan. Maybe it's, I don't know, something else, and they might be here on, I don't even know. We have so many grants and programs. How do I know what program they're on? But the people who come here to Manitoba, it's because it's not high on the list. If you want to come from another country and you want to go to Vancouver, that's going to cost you. And that's just going to cost you, put it that way. So you have to have more money in general, and then you can come. Anyone else, they would be waiting. They'll be waiting who knows how many years. They're going to grow old waiting to come in if you think you're going there without money. And same goes for, Toronto. But Manitoba, it's less hassle and much more affordable and easier and faster to come because we have, how our weather is. And maybe they get not as good a deal. Vancouver's here you go. They roll out the red carpet because they have money, and they know they're get over here, get into Canada, start bringing us your money, right? Maybe they give them a better deal, let their parents have a fund. I don't know, actually. I'm not sure. I should read those articles. I know you posted
We've been covering them for years on our channel.
I know you have. I haven't read the details.
Oh no, I'm talking about going back from the Olympics, the 2010 Olympics. We're expecting a correction in the Vancouver housing market, and never happened. And then we never got that correction, and then that's when average wage earners around 2011, 2012 got completely bought out of their own markets. They couldn't get in since then. So there's been people that have been watching me. There was one guy that was watching my channel from when he was 16 years old. And he's 26 now. And he's like, holy crap, Mike, I remember watching, kind of laughing at you when you were making videos outside your house in Vancouver and say you're leaving Vancouver. I was making fun of you and laughing at you. And now I'm realizing, now I'm 26. And I don't know where to go, and my parents are selling the house and moving to a condo, and I don't have anywhere to go, and I have a good job, and he can't. I don't know who the heck is calling me. It's one of those. It's one of those calls hi. We are trying. I told this internet company TELUS to stop calling me. You know what I'm saying? They keep sending people. I just got the internet installed 2 days ago, and they are calling me every hour to see if I want an upgrade.
Just shut your phone off.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
You're doing a show. Yeah. You're multitasking, I noticed.
Oh, yeah.
Doing eBay and...
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's the questions I wanted to ask, and I'm gonna continue reading some stories here and go over some of the markets. And I
Hmm.
appreciate you coming on, giving us your insight on what's going down. I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. Thanks
I'll
for the
probably have
call.
you on Mike of the Night if you get some time. We'll go over some articles, okay?
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah,
Okay.
we can go crazy.
Thanks, Lynn. We'll talk soon.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Have a great night. Okay, bye.
Bye. All right. That's Linny from Manitoba. And someone's saying go over the chart on the show. Oh, okay. So somebody has a chart they want us to go over here. Oh, I see it here. I see it here. Let me see here. Facebook. No. What's this here? Hold on a second. Where is it? Right there. NVAX. NVAX. Let's see what this is. All right, let's go into some markets now. Market discussion. Let's see where things are at right now. Woo! I'm fighting a headache. I am fighting a headache right now. All right, let's finish our housing articles that I got picked out. So, New York lawmakers propose converting empty offices and hotels to affordable housing. And California, the Californians are coming, so is their housing crisis. It is possible to import growth. Yo, what's up, dog?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. I was just gonna start going into that. What's that stock ticker you want me to look at here? Are you there? Hello? Hello?
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, sorry, you cut out there. What's the stock ticker you want me to look at?
Okay, so that NVAX.
Okay, NVIX. NVIX. Why am I not getting those symbols for NVIX? I know that ticker.
Yeah, it's the VAX. It's the VAX. Bill Gates.
Oh,
Um,
NVIX. I'm not getting nothing for
yeah,
NVIX.
N is in Nancy, V is in Victor, and then X as
Oh,
in Xavier.
NVAX. NVAX. So you said NVIX. I'm like, here it is. Novax Inc.
No VAX.
That's $183.61.
Yeah. So we got the chart on just the pattern of that.
All right, I'm seeing it here.
I
Yeah.
just wanted to try to give you the explanation before I tell you the scenario.
Okay,
So
hold on.
we're looking at
Let me open your
like
chart.
2001.
Let me just open your chart here real quick. Okay, got it. Open. Go ahead.
So 2001. I guess he needed some money. Bill Gates and his corporation that's allowed to do whatever they want. So they created this pump, right? They're allowed to do it, but nobody else can do it. But
I
he
see it. I
created
see
this
it right
pump.
here. I see it right there. I see it.
Yeah. So there's a pattern though. Every time he does a pump, and then I drew that line around 300. The stock goes from like $2, it goes to 300, and then it falls like a rock. And it hit the line, and I sent you another image of a cheap way how to play this. So the image I sent you with says one's an option chain,
Let's
and
see
then
it.
the other one's NVAX January 2022. There's a $50 put. It's bid is $3. The ask is 5.25.
Mhm.
So what that means is 5 times 100 shares. So the amount that you would pay would be the middle between the bid and the ask. It would come out to about $412.
Right. I call it an aggregation.
Yeah.
Some
So
form of an aggregation to take away an ad.
yeah, this is the perfect way to play this. It's a long term. You don't even have to look at it, but we all know this price is. If you follow the company like I do, I read the 10Q reports. So I go over the quarterly numbers, and I look over the financials. If you go to the finance reports, you'll see, the filings that they do with Edgar filing.
Mm-hmm.
on the SEC that they give out on their quarterly reports, and the company doesn't make any money. The company's not worth like $2, but right now it's at $180. The only way a company like this would fall from $300 to $180 in a couple of days is because the company's not worth nothing. It's worth $2.
Well,
So
no, they're releasing office space, unlike big oil companies that actually have land and infrastructure and vehicles and transportation trucks and all that stuff. Those are worth those oil companies, those big natural gas companies are being destroyed by our going green project that's going to actually destroy the world. You know what I'm saying? And so these companies, like you're saying, that lease office space and have nothing to their names, obviously worth $2, and they are. I believe you.
yeah, Novavax. I mean, what's their one product? They have a man, right, that can't do 10 push-ups, but somehow he has no college education, but he's a doctor.
And he's got a level 80 armor
right.
sweater.
Yeah. I mean, the way that this is going, what they're allowing these private corporations to do to us, it's just so malevolent. And it's a pattern, right? We're going through. If you look at it, it looks like you can see the chart. They want this to happen. Boom, it happens. It goes back down. It goes to $2, and then we need another event. So they're allowing it to happen. So let's move on to something else, because that's a good way to make money. And the way you make money is you don't look at it, right? Money is like whatever. It's like a law of attraction. Mm-hmm. The less you try to attract to it, it's the rubber band effect. It will come into your pocket. Remember in November? I've been looking at those charts in November when we spoke and we did that little video about when I was working at Lehman Brothers, and I told you, and I was looking at the charts. I said, "Wow, look at all these companies tripled from November." I mean, yeah, we are inflated right now, and I want to go into the bonds because this is the key.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you wanted to unpack a little bit of what's happening in the bond market and how that's creating a lot of uncertainty in the commodities market.
Everything, yeah, it's just a mess. So I sent you the two charts. One is TMV, and then the other one is TLT. So TMV is the opposite of TLT, right? They always make it one index fund.
Yeah, it's the Direxon Daily 20, right?
The TMV?
Yeah, the Direxion Daily 20+ year Treasury Bear. That's the one, 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. 75.57 is up 246.
Yep. And both of them have different, right? They have different, one's going up, the other one's going down. So the TLTs, you make money on the short side, because as what happens is as stock market, as again, we have uncertainty, right? We have stimulus that we don't know is coming out, but it's the only thing that is giving them, a pipe dream, is that they're going to keep increasing
pumping up
taxes,
the market, yeah,
and increasing debt, right? We're going to get higher corporate tax, and now the bonds will be affected, right? So I said, I sent you this back before the bonds started to squeeze, right? I said this is going to be horrible. It's going to cause a crash, because what happens is the higher these bonds move higher. Okay, some of these bonds have squeezed 30%, and for a bond to squeeze 30% on the yields in less than a couple, like short, is really been that's what the problem is. It's too short of amount of time.
It's way too short.
What happened?
Especially on the 20-year, there's no way.
Exactly, right. It's just not plausible. So you see the money is going out of the stock market, equities, and it moves into the bond market, because that's what I said to you back in November. Not only is November, I said everything was going to go higher, and that's what.
Hello? I think we lost you.
Happened.
Hello, we lost you there for a second. Are you on a plane right now?
But now a squeeze out of the stock market today, and over the last few days. I mean, yesterday was up. It was it was up 600, down 600, right? Nobody wants that, but it's going to happen right now until we get some type of certainty. And right now, these bonds. So you look at the international bond market. You have the U.S. bond has gone up 30%, or it's comparably, it's gone up. They call it 30 bips or more, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everything is bips, BPS, and even on Canadian bonds on the 10-year, that was at 1.5 less than a couple weeks ago, but it's gone up 30% already. It's up like 30 bips. So the 10-year right now is at like 1.85, and it's going to continue to climb. So what's going to happen as these rates continue to climb, the pressure is going to be on the purchase market. If people can't afford, so if the 10-year, right, because people don't buy a house on a 10-year note. People don't have income to support a short-term bond on their house.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get like a 10-year loan on the house, the payment is going to be jacked up. It's going to be a lot higher.
Right.
So people don't get 10-year bonds on their house. They get 30-year. And the 30-year will continue to climb.
Hello?
And
Hello, we're losing.
Hey, I'm down. Yeah.
We're losing you there. You're breaking up pretty bad. Are you buy something there? Are you buy a microwave oven or something?
No. Yeah, I was in the kitchen.
Oh, okay.
Getting the drink. So as these bonds are going to move higher, it puts pressure. People can't purchase homes, and they're going to see a crash. But what they're going to do is they're going to create more debt, bail people out, and then raise more taxes, right?
What about debt swaps? You're going to see more debt swaps where they're going to the banks are going to be selling back bad debt to the Fed, and then the Fed buys the bad debt back, and then goes ahead and kind of lends them 10 times that amount.
So with
because I know they've been buying a lot of bad debt.
With bad debt, they'll just make a program, right? They'll make a program. That's what they always do. They'll make a program. Back in like 2007 with the housing crisis, then what they did was they took all the toxic debt and they put it into the
back securities.
Federal Housing Authority program, the FHA loans.
Right.
So, but nobody's paying those right now anyway. So if they were subprime and they weren't making, and they didn't have good credit then, and they were late on their payments, they got pushed into a federal insured housing loan, and they had a cheaper payment. However, it's still the same people with the same bad credit, and maybe they didn't change their habits, and they probably are in forbearance for the last year, and they get like another 2 years not to make any payments. So the bailout's going to go directly to they're giving themselves their own money, but they already did this. So they already bought up all that toxic debt, and they gave people regular payments.
Right.
People shouldn't.
Hello?
Back then, like they're given a 10-year bond, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you see other countries, different, these other like scenarios that they didn't learn from America and the housing crisis back when 2007, and they're having, a 10-year loan at 9%. I mean, that's like getting a used car loan. That's just horrible. You should never pay that much. Like Lenny said, is she's locked in at 1.5%. That's good, right? She's locked in. They can't, change what you already have.
Right.
But
unless you're on a variable rate, you're screwed.
Right. Yeah. Well, you have to convert it eventually. So the only one who makes money. And
listen, let me throw something out there. For you. And I got this feeling, I just hope I'm dead wrong. I really hope so. But if you could kind of break down for us, because I'm going to throw out a scenario that I think is going to happen, and then you break down in the markets what will happen and what transformations we will see if this event happens, okay?
Mhm.
War with China. I have this really, really, really bad feeling that this is going to be the year of hot war. And what does this mean for the economy? What does this mean for um, the situation we're in right now? Because I have this really, really bad feeling that there's war on the horizon, and I really don't want to go to war, but it looks like they're ramping up for war. Or am I just severely delusional?
I think. Well, I did send you that that image. You had talked about how they were building those what they call prisons in it was at London or Europe where
Mm-hmm.
you had showed a picture of it.
Mm-hmm. Hello? Hello? Hey, let's call him back on a more.
He's going,
Hold on, let me call you back. Let me call you back. Let's call him back. All right, let's call him back right here.
Yeah,
Sorry about that. I hung up on you. I'm sorry, but I just wanted to get a better connection here.
don't worry about it. I did a configuration on my computer, and I have other people on my network that I don't want on my network, but I tell that they're on the network.
Oh, okay.
You know, everybody should be checking their networks.
Oh.
And
okay, going to war.
anyways,
What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen if we go to war?
well, you know, you see, in terms they call it Gog and Magog. I don't know if you ever heard of this.
I read it in a book like 20 years ago. Continue.
Yeah, it's starting. It's you know, it's going to happen. It's basically these elites. They want to, you know, they want to concentrate all their power, right? So what they're going to do is they're starting it already.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've seen what happened today's articles or whatever with you know, attacking U.S. troops. You know, I could all I could just say is that it's going to happen. You got a bunch of elites that want to fulfill prophecies, and they're the lunatics. They're all taking a direction from, you know, Bill Gates, who doesn't have an education, but for somehow he's a doctor, and this is who they're taking direction from.
Can he do 10 push-ups?
No, he's not doing any push-ups.
No?
It's so funny. It's just in his destiny not to do any push-ups at all. He's weak person physically, but he's on this whole, I'm a corporation, but I work for the you know, starts with a P, ends with an N.
I know.
Shaped like a shape. Yeah.
All right, hold on. I want to ask you something. Now, living in the United States in the South, and I read an article like this to you. Vancouver real estate prices rip higher as detached home prices rise 44,000 in 1 month. Does that make sense to you?
Well, I mean, nothing's going to make sense for a while. Just know that
Hello?
we're going to have to deal with this. Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah. Well, they're basically, like I was trying to tell you, is that those prisons, and they're building these massive prisons. They're not prisons. They're mental health psychiatric facilities. They're intentionally trying to make people, it's programming. They intentionally, just like Facebook, they ask you, what do you think? That is only to drive you insane, right? It's not to help you. I don't get any benefit from telling Facebook what I think, right? Trust me, I've been through. I've been through that. And for them to go around and to go on shows and tell people that they intentionally create misstatements about your privacy, and that they're intentionally doing deceptive practices, they're selling your data, they're doing this, they're doing that intentionally, and the corporations are allowed to do it. Meanwhile, the law says it's illegal, but no, they're a corporation. they're not criminals, right? It's absolute lunacy. You know, you've seen it in Texas, right? How does a corporation even have a heart to say, yeah, we could charge you 12 grand for leaving your light on for 2 hours, right? I mean, the lunacy is just going to keep, it's going to escalate and escalate because nobody knows how to nip it in the butt. You got agents who are running around chasing Lady Gaga's dogs instead of really focusing on corporations that are ruining the world on purpose. That's what they're doing. That's what their agenda is.
Hold on. Like, we got to take a step back here. What the hell is Lady Gaga?
Lady Gaga, you guys don't know Lady Gaga in Canada? She's the singer, Poker Face, My Poker Face. Never heard that, though?
Oh, I think I heard it in a mall once. I almost threw up. Okay.
Yeah, right? I know. They're spending time trying to track down the people who kidnapped her dog. Right?
It sounds like an episode of Ace Ventura.
That was good. I like that. That was good.
That's exactly what it sounds like. Wow. So, anyways, okay. Well, is there any tickers you want us to look at? Hello? Hello? Hello?
You got it?
Hello? I think we lost him again. We lost him. We got the Raven here. We missed him on Mike in the Night. We didn't get him on Mike in the Night. Let's get the Raven in right now. See if he picks up. Raven, are you there, buddy?
Hello.
Hey, I didn't get you on Mike in the Night last week. Were you working?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe I was asleep.
Oh, okay. Well, I wanted to get you on the show. You know, I just wanted to hear you like weighing in on this. I don't know. I don't see any normalcy like for a detached home to go up $44,000 in a month. Yeah, okay. The house is $1 million to start, 44 grand. What's, it's not much.
That's Vancouver, eh?
Well, no, Vancouver area.
Yeah.
Now we're talking to the U.S. border, up to North Vancouver, all the way up to Surrey. We're talking about 100 miles circumference.
Yeah, I heard Toronto was $1,045,000 for the average home.
We got that
That's
one
insane.
right here. Not
That's
for the faint
crazy.
of heart, average home in Toronto. And Toronto's big, Raven. Toronto goes all the way from like Lake Ontario, from like Yonge Street, all the way up to Steeles Avenue. And it goes all the way east to like Scarborough and west to Mississauga.
You know what?
It's a big city.
Hey, just listen to what they say. You're going to own nothing, man. These guys are setting up a wealth transfer. That's all it's going to be. Hug everything that you think you can hold on to. Hold it tight because you're going to lose it. You're going to lose it all. You're sitting there with loans. If you're sitting there with lines of credit, you're going to have pressure, man. When this thing, like that guy was talking about the interest, the bond market there, it's putting pressure, man. Pressure's coming. The inflation's coming.
Well,
It's
bonds are
coming.
going up a lot faster than they should. Well, because then we started getting these inverted yield curves, and the 20-year bond, the 1-year bond looks more attractive than the 20.
Yeah, and what's Yellen saying? Now it doesn't matter. We can print as much money as we want. Like, they got nothing left, man. It's death by one big cut or 1,000 cuts. Like, they can't get out. They're stuck, and now the pressure's coming. They played the game. Well, they'll blame it on COVID. That's okay. That's what it was intended for anyway.
Guys, we
Yeah.
got King Cash YT in the house. King Cash YT has a YouTube channel that I've been following. I'm going to plug it right now. And if you guys want to check it out, King Cash YT, he's a younger version of the Raven. I'm going to plug his channel right now so people could watch him. I'm subscribed to his channel, unless he got unsubscribed. You know what? If I get unsubscribed to a specific channel, that means they're doing something right.
Yeah. Hey, you said you were going to call me back. You're in the bathroom. That was a long bathroom break. What was that, 48 hours?
No, what happened? Why didn't I call you back? Oh, I
That
was
was
going to call
about
you the next
40
day at work, and then I got busy, and then I was going to call you, I was going to call you on my way home, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'll just call the Raven.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm always here.
Okay, where's my King Cash YT channel? I'm wondering if I got unsubscribed to this.
But anyways, I was going to say, Mike, they're hiding inflation in the price of gold and silver, palladium, platinum, copper, oil. They're hiding inflation. They're keeping everything suppressed, keep you in the stock market, the bond market. They're hiding it. They're hiding it. Oh, look at gold and silver sitting down there nice and low. Oh, there's no inflation.
Oh, they've been
Everything
manipulating
else is out
gold
of
and
control.
silver for the last 50
I
years,
know.
100 years, you know that.
But they're trying to protect their dollar. They're trying to protect the value of their dollar. So they're keeping it down. They're holding it down. And the pressure's on now. Things are taking off, man. There's a massive transfer of wealth. Don't think that you're very wealthy, because you're probably going to lose most of what you got. Unless you're holding it tight.
NK, hold on. NK saying, hi, Mike. What do you think about 300,000 Hong Kong citizens soon moving to Canada? That's going to keep our housing market going for another maybe 2 years max. I'm talking max.
That's just going to be more people to watch starve. That's all that's going to be.
Hey, I thought we were friends.
You know what? Hey, these guys are trying to get us to some point. You know, there's some point down the road they're trying to get us to. Back in November of 2019, they were trying to get us to January, to COVID. They're always trying to get to some point. They got a plan. Don't think that they don't know what they're doing. They got a plan.
Okay, guys, I'm going to plug this channel here. Here it is. There it is. It is King Cash YT. Let him know in the comments that you are from the Mike Martins or Mike in the Night. Let him know that you are here from our channel, so that he knows that I'm bringing people over to his. He's got some really good point of views in some of his videos. I've seen some of them. I really recommend, Raven, you check out this channel here, King Cash YT. I don't know how long it's going to be up for. That's the thing. So, yeah, it's one of those. It's a good channel, though. Everything that's good gets taken down almost immediately. You know how it is, right?
And that Canada pension plan, foreigners collecting Canada. Remember, we did a show on that.
Yes, we did. There's a lot of people collecting it, and they've never contributed to the pension.
They can collect Canada pension. See, the thing is, for us being Canadians born here on Canada pension plan, we can just leave, and there's very little restrictions on us leaving and collecting. But for a person who comes to this country, they must live for, I think it's 10 years. There's restrictions on them a little bit, and then they can leave. But they must have been here, I think it's 10 years before they can move away and collect it. They can't just move in and move back out.
Okay.
There's some restrictions there for them. But yeah.
So how's everything going? You doing okay, or
yeah.
Are you noticing any patterns in traffic patterns in trains going east and west?
You know what? It's getting slow. Everything's Chinese. That's it. It's still the same. Tons of Chinese trains, like double stack container. It's their show now, man. We're done. We're finished until we blow this shit up. So, yeah, we're done as a nation. U.S. not? Yeah, you're not a superpower no more. That's China's turn now. We're all finished. Yeah, but you know what I was noticing was banks in the city. Like I saw them change the sign on my bank, Scotia. They changed the sign, and I asked the guy, "Hey, can I have that old sign?" He goes, "Yeah, here, take it." I threw it in my truck and drove away. And then I noticed I did. The bank manager came outside too. We seen him. He came outside. He probably wanted his sign back. But I noticed the banks are making their signs smaller now. Like, it's a lot smaller than this. Like, it's on the same post, but it's a smaller sign. And I started looking around at the banks thinking, are these guys starting to, their visual footprint, is it starting to get smaller and smaller? It's just kind of things like that. I kind of just keep my eyes open and watch around and see what these guys are up to, because I don't trust them at all. So I've just maybe watch for that. See, are the banks trying to show less presence out there? I think they are. Things like that. Just watching around, watching the show. So.
Okay, we got Dom in the house that's saying Canada has become a third world country now. He says, I am a wounded disabled person in a wheelchair with deep pressure ulcers. These a-holes put me in general population men's shelter, and I had to run away to a hotel last Tuesday.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of people going through a lot right now.
Yeah, and easily fall through the cracks, I'm sure.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people going through a lot. Yeah. A lot of people out there can't make their rent right now in Winnipeg, from what I hear.
Yeah, and especially parts of California, New York, and Massachusetts, there's a huge percentages of people that are having a tough time making ends meet. Well, Texas reopened, so you're going to see a lot more traffic moving because New York, especially the way it's being run in a lot of those cities, the way they're running these states, I could see a lot of people fleeing to other states that are more free. You know what I'm saying? Because this COVID thing, they can keep this COVID thing going for 30 years if they want to.
Oh, they're going to. They're not going to let. It might not be COVID. It'll be some resemblance of COVID. It'll be from like COVID was the beginning of it. It'll morph into something else. It'll morph and just keep morphing. But it's their control method to control. So it's not. They're not going to let it go. Don't lose sight that it's a depopulation event. That's what I figure. So what are these guys trying to get us to? There's some point in the future they're trying to take us to, right? They're not going to fix things for 7.8 going on 8 billion people. No. The whole world is collapsing. Everything's collapsing around us. We're running out of silver, gold, palladium, platinum. We're running out of cobalt. We're running out of uranium. We're running out of rare earth minerals. We're running out of water. We're running out of lumber. Running out of houses. Ecosystems collapsing. The rain is the whole thing. Everything. So how do you fix that? If you're running out of something, how do you fix it? Well, get rid of maybe 80, 90% of the people that use it. Now, I read that the life expectancy took the biggest drop since World War II. I said before, a few shows ago, they're shortening our lifespans. They're not just killing, they're shortening. They're killing, shortening, making it small, compact. But what's the big factor that these guys are going to do? They're going to do something big, man. It's going to make COVID look like nothing. It's going to be either probably a bad strain, survival of the fittest, like it said, the push for the vaccine, the final push. Yeah.
Mitch Madden's got a good point in the comments there. MacArthur warned leaders about China in 1950. He predicted if we didn't deal with them, we would have to pay in 2 generations. And he's right.
Yeah. I see the whole world as the same place. It's just which bankers want which country to run for a while, grab the ball and run. It's the banking families have a central bank there. I don't really care who the race is that's there. It's the central bankers calling the shots. Mm-hmm. So they'll let China run for a while, and then they'll let someone else run for a while. Actually, they're not. They're going to make it all one big team. So I don't care about China. I look at more about how are they going to get rid of 7 billion people? That's what I think their goal is, and I think they're running out of time. Well,
unemployment, they're doing a good job hiding the unemployment numbers in Canada. They're actually saying it's recovering, we're doing well.
It's just lies. This whole thing is just media lies. Look at the inflation. Oh, there's 1.4% inflation in the U.S. We're 7% unemployment in the U.S. It's all lies. It's all lies. Come to terms with that. It's all lies. The whole thing is a lie. The Fed's a bunch of liars. The Secretary Treasurer is a liar. They're all lying. They're lying at this point. They're lying. Everything's a lie. It was mostly all a lie before anyway. So there's a transfer of wealth coming. Don't forget that. There's a transfer of wealth coming. People seem to forget that and think that they get lost with the bank account. Oh, look at my house is worth so much, or, look at my duplexes are going up so high. Yeah, there's a transfer of wealth coming. You're going to be in a situation where you're not going to be able to pay your bills. You're going to have to forfeit. And guess who's going to take all your properties?
China.
Yeah. The same people who took them in 2008. That was a small scale. That was a little test run. Well, the big test run's coming. What's going to happen to cryptos when everything goes down? I think cryptos are going to collapse. People are going to try and get out. Can they get out? Who's going to have the money to buy them? You can put them up for sale in an exchange, but who's going to buy them? Who's going to have money? Margin calls all over. People trying to pay rent. I think the whole thing goes down. If you're sitting with cash, At that point, you could probably clean up on cryptos. I think cryptos will be a place for a crash to go in and just clean up. And I think that cryptos will roar back after, like gold and silver. I don't think houses will roar back or stocks. Well, stocks in a way, yeah, a little bit. Good companies. But I think gold, silver, and cryptos are going to come back really, really big after what's coming. And everybody here knows that's got to be coming. It has to be. If you're watching what these guys are doing, they're about to print another 1.9.
Hold on. Speaking of crypto, Bitcoin jumps above $50,000 in recovery from last week's rout. It is sitting at 64,000 Canadian. I wonder what that is in American. That's about, what, 52,000 American?
Yeah, it's somewhere, I think 51. It was today.
Yeah, so it's up 3.9% on the Canadian dollar, though. Bitcoin rallied back above 50 large, surpassing the key psychological level as a bullish momentum return after last week's sell-off. The digital token climbed as much as 11% before pairing some of the gains and trade around 51 large as of 4:33 p.m. in New York, reaching the highest level in 2 weeks, according to data compiled by Bloomberg. There it is right there.
What happens in a crash, though? Do people just hold their Bitcoin and say, oh, it's worth 60 grand a coin or 100 grand a coin?
Well, the thing is, you got to buckle your seatbelt up, boy, because it's going to be a bumpy ride.
I think you're going to, like, who are the whales holding the majority of Bitcoin? Can they weather a storm? That's the ones, eh?
Well, I don't see Elon Musk filing chapter 11 for buying Bitcoin, right? So a lot of the big players in this, I think they're just buying it for the sake of, or not for the sake, just for fun, to be honest with you. I think it's for fun.
I don't trust Elon Musk. He's got too much power.
Wait a minute. I thought you guys were friends. He speaks so highly of you.
Yeah. He has the following of Donald Trump, and they will see that as useful. Like they saw Trump useful in the 90s when they bailed out his casinos. When the Rothschilds bailed out his casinos, they saw everybody pressing up against his limo. They knew he was going to be useful in the future. I see them seeing Elon Musk as being useful because every time the guy says something, everybody follows him like the Pied Piper out of town. They'll see that as useful. He can sway a population. So watch Elon Musk. I don't trust him. I don't. No, any of those guys that high up with that much power and influence, these got to be in the game with them because they could probably take him down if they wanted. And he's shooting up their Starlink satellites anyway. He's in it with them. So watch what all these people do and don't trust them. Think like, what are these guys trying to achieve here? So Elon tweeted about gold and silver. See, Bitcoin. Look what happened. Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm. Well, he bought how many billion? 1.5 billion? 2.5 billion?
1.5, I think. 1.5. I think 1.5 billion.
Last week, right? A week and a half ago.
Yeah. All the banks, tons, Citibank, lots of them are picking up Bitcoin. Lots of them.
So once you see the big players getting into Bitcoin, what does that tell you?
They're talking about making it a world reserve currency. They're talking about making it a world reserve currency. I can tell you one thing though. The bankers, they're just watching that. They're looking at it. I wouldn't be surprised if they came out and said, hey, you know what? We got to ban it. It's too energy intensive. It's eating up too much. You're killing the planet. You guys are running too many mines, all these mining rigs, these setups are huge. You guys are using too much electricity. They're coming with some stupid excuse saying, yeah, we got to cut it down. It's too much.
That sounds like something that AOC would say, occasional cortex.
Yeah, you got to expect the unexpected with these people. Did we expect COVID? Expect the unexpected. What do they got coming next?
Well, hold on. Did you watch bullcrap in the news last week or last Monday, where I read the article that was sent to me by Lenny Poo, where it said COVID now looks like it's treating cancer and all this weird crap. The vaccine.
Yeah, I don't really listen to anything those guys say.
But it was on the British news was covering it that this is a great thing. My leg doesn't hurt anymore after I took the vaccine. My leg feels great. I don't know, man. There's so much crap they're shoving down our throats. That's why I have a whole Monday segment called Crap in the News. It's all crap.
Well, It all confusion, eh? It's more and more confusion, man. Nobody even knows what's going on. Who knows? Nobody's. Does anybody really know what's going on anymore? It's too much to watch. You know, you got to just sit back and go, what the hell? And just, just get away from it after a while. It's like, it's too much. But as far as that, what you were saying about Bitcoin there, they're not going to give the power of Bitcoin to a bunch of people sitting behind computers. Whatever happens in the end, the bankers will come out on top. So it's whatever they decide, whatever they do, because they make the rules. The people who write policy in the U.S. are not politicians. It's whatever they decide. You can think, oh, hey, look at my bank account balance. Yeah, forget it. It's not it's what they decide. It's their balance sheet that is important, not yours. So don't ever think you're going to pull one over on them. They've already got a plan. They've got it all figured out. They're just trying to get us to a certain point in time to roll this out, to roll that out. They know. What do they got? 900 PhDs working at the Fed? Those people, always say, oh, the Fed screwed up again. Oh, you know what? I think the Fed is like an exact science. Every single thing they do, because it got us here. We always said they screwed up. No, logically they would have screwed up, but no, they screwed up on purpose. Everything they ever did was to get us here. It was just a grand old party for them. And now they got us right where they want us.
Let me ask you
Looks
something.
like-
Let me ask you something. The discussion I've been having for a while about Amerifornia. Now we're starting to see Texas is missing more than 500,000 houses. Is the Amerifornia thing that I've been talking about, where America becomes like California with unemployment, job losses, homelessness, high taxes? Can you see, or am I just delusional? Can you see parts like Texas, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, North and South Carolina, where you could go to a part in those rural areas and still buy something under $200,000? Do you see it becoming like California?
Yeah, it's a mass migration. The places like, look at California. It's horrible. I know Lord watches Jeremiah Babe. Like, that guy's walked. The tent cities are unbelievable there. The whole town, it's just, it's falling apart, and it's gonna feed on itself, and more people are gonna exodus. They're gonna leave. They're gonna leave for Florida or somewhere else. But I know they're rushing out of that state is falling apart. There's gonna be nothing there, and you know what? It's gonna happen here too. People are gonna, like, right now I'm talking to people at work. They're selling their houses because of what's going on in Winnipeg, and they're moving to the outskirts outside of Winnipeg. They're urban sprawl. They're taking off. They want to be away from the cities, away from all the BS, and so then the cities turn into Detroit. That's going to happen right across the board. I think this is going to be Somalia in 5 years. This is going to be a failed state. You're looking at Somalia. It's not going to get better. And you know why it doesn't get better? Because interest compounds. Mm-hmm. And this is an interest problem, the whole thing. We don't get out of this. Whatever you think you own, you better hold tight, because don't forget, there's a transfer coming here, and they know it. Why do you think they say that? You're going to own nothing. They're not lying. Just listen to what they say. That's their plan, and they're going to own it all, and then they're going to rent to us, and they're going to milk the last pennies anybody's got. Mm-hmm. Everything we have, our cars, our houses, everything will be rented.
Well, that's what they were saying. That I don't know if you know this, but Ford was wanting to introduce for a long time, before 2008, before the whole, the grand financial reset, or the grand, not the reset, but the GFC. They were trying to Ford was actually trying to launch a vehicle where you never own it, but you could just continue renting it, so you don't have to worry about so much of the repairs and servicing and all that stuff, because they take care of it for you. And I'm like, wow, you're never going to own your car anymore. And then after we had the great financial reset, or the great financial correction back in 708, and they kind of threw that off the table. But yeah, they're and I'm thinking home ownership is going to be the same thing, where it's going to be so far out of reach for the local people of the country that it's happening even in Jamaica right now. I spoke to someone in Jamaica, my friend Earl there. He was telling me that in Jamaica right now, that people born and raised in Kingston and other parts of Jamaica are having a really tough time making ends meet in working 2 jobs.
Yeah, you know what? I think these guys are going to bring in. They're going to lock us in. It'll be negative rates, and they're going to lock us in. The minute they lock us in, they can just bankrupt everybody on their homes. Once they start jacking those rates, bye-bye. You know, who here can afford 5, 6, 7% interest rates on their mortgage or on their loans right now? Or they're, you know.
Well, if you're living in Alabama, you could, because you pay $200,000 for your house. But if you're living in Vancouver or Toronto or Los Angeles or New York, you're screwed because you paid $1 million for your house.
Yeah, well, if they lock us in digitally, which they're very close to doing, you know, we're not far away from that. And then negative interest rates, they can do whatever they want. They can jack those rates, and there's no way. You know what? If you don't own it, well, even if you own your house, you know, what do you about your taxes? And they can make it very unbearable on us to own our own property. And I think they know that. That's why they say we'll own nothing. They know that.
All they have to do is raise interest rates by, like, let's say 1% in a city like Los Angeles or Toronto or New York, and 1% on $1 million. That's like $10,000 a year.
People aren't making it now. You raise it 1%, you're going to lose the bottom probably 10, 15%. Raise it 2%, you know, you'll lose the bottom 30, 40%. Like, people aren't making it now in our city right now. Here, people are living check to check. If they're even living that, a massive market on Facebook Marketplace selling stuff. I'm buying stuff constantly on Facebook. It's just so cheap. You know, it's just Kijiji, Facebook. I bought a ton of gold on Kijiji. It was unbelievable. I bought a lot of gold off there. People selling their gold chains, their gold rings, their bracelets. I just kept buying and buying and buying. I just bought a scale. I bought a loop, you know, and I just started buying. And there was no shortage of people selling their gold on there, looking for money. Good prices, you know. So people are broke, Mike. What are you going to do?
So what do you...
And now inflation's coming. Inflation's going to squeeze whatever lasts. I believe this summer, later in the year, you're going to price out the bottom 10% of Canadians. You're going to price them out of groceries. They're not going to have what it takes to be. They'll be in that crowd that's malnourished. They're going to have to. A lot of people are going to have to subsidize with Harvest, you know, food banks, and our food banks have already up 500%. Look at the lineups you see on TV in Maui and Hawaii and these places, 6, 7, 8 hours to get into food banks.
Well, London, England, remember, London, England has more food banks in London, England than there is
yes,
McDonald's
I think it was
and Burger King and Subway restaurants.
Yeah. So we're turning into that environment where it's them like handouts. So you're going to get your UBI, your credit for the company store. There you go. You see how this is all working out, eh? You get your credit here, get your loaf of bread, get your milk, your bread. Here you go. Here's your house that you rent. You get that. That's where you live. Your little portion of this goes there. Yeah, I don't like that future. It's not good. I think food this summer is going to be hard for a lot of people. Look at the lumber prices.
Yeah,
I don't even know
doubling and tripling, and it's getting more and more expensive to get anything done nowadays.
Yeah, and like a sheet of USB, my brother said was $13. It's now $33. Like, and I see trains, 120, 140 cars, like big, huge lumber cars, just stacked with wood. We're bringing them from BC constantly, and they can't keep up with that. Like the wood is just everything. Can't they sell paper wood in the futures market and suppress the price of lumber? Why not? Why not? Why is it okay for lumber to go to hyperinflate? Everything's hyperinflating. Look at Michael Burry said, I'm warning you guys, hyperinflation's coming.
That's right.
You know? There it is.
Hold on. Blunt News is weighing in and saying, I can't even buy chicken feed without ID anymore. Why the hell do they have to identify you when you're buying chicken feed?
He's probably got a restraining order to be within 200 feet of a live poultry.
Oh.
I hate that. Everything's hyperinflating, Mike, except for gold, silver. That's where they hide their inflation. Just look at the gold and silver's down. Rising gold price exposes a worthless currency. Yeah. Rough times ahead.
Now, let's go back to the last question I was asking Fruity Loops there. We got cut off there for Fruity Loops. But let me ask you this question. Hot war. I mean, economically, I don't know. I really don't want to say this, but I'm smelling a hot war, Raven. I really am. Yeah. And I never felt so sure about something in this position that we are in right now that I'm smelling hot war, man.
I just don't. Why? You can do it with a virus. Or it could benefit them in some way, I guess, but it would be all agreed upon. I don't see it being an actual war. I think this whole thing is orchestrated. Everything, China all the way around the globe's all orchestrated. I don't believe anything they say, anything they do. I don't believe they really achieved too much with a hot war. They can do it all with the virus, and they don't got to blow their planet up.
No, I think there's something else brewing right now in the Middle East, and right now with the Chinese-India border dispute, and I think there's major issues happening in the South China Sea, and I think there's major issues happening in those American bases there off the coast of Taiwan. So if you're on one of the tallest building in Shanghai, I think it's Shanghai, and in one of the tallest buildings, you could see. I think it's Guam. You could see all the missiles pointed at you from China. So from Guam to China. So I'm thinking there's something happening, Raven. Like something is in the works, and all the chess pieces are working. And economically speaking, this is going to cause a huge rift. I really hope I'm wrong, but remember, 4 months before the end of 2019, I said the only thing they have left is to pull the trigger on a mass pandemic. Remember I said that?
Yeah.
Now you found that, by the way. You found that in one of our shows. I said that.
Yeah.
But I really hope I'm wrong about us going to war, but I really don't want you a year from now playing this video back to me and telling me watch at this minute. And then it's going to be like But everything, okay, what I'm trying to say to you, Raven, is everything is indicating war right now. That's what I'm saying. You
know what? I would say that it's probably to keep your attention. That's it. While they work behind the curtain. Don't trust these people, man. They are the worst murdering, lying thieves you could ever imagine. Whatever they're doing is to grab your attention away from the brass ring. That's it. They're just shaking this over here. Look what they did with Trump. They used him like a 2-bit hooker, that guy. Mm-hmm. Look at the distractions that guy, the Kavanaugh trials, the Russian, the phone calls. Look at the stuff they did with Trump, and everybody ate it up. They all ate it up, and they just watched. Wow. Man, that Trump paid off. Those Rothschilds are thinking, man, that guy paid off. Too bad we couldn't use him for something else. And that's how they use people like Elon Musk, I would say. Can he grab your attention? Can he get you to do things? They're going to push this thing forward no matter what. I don't see a war, though. I see them trying to use distractions, trying to shake it up a little bit if it's getting a little too stale with the COVID, and maybe people are starting to, open up their states and stuff maybe they'll do something. They might. But that like Pakistan, you're talking Kashmir, northern India, like with Pakistan.
I'm talking about
China.
India and China border dispute. There's been a lot of scrimmages in that border in the last couple of weeks, and there's been they've been firing back and forth.
Well, those and they're all nuclear capable. Although Russia's got 6,500 nukes. I think U.S. has 6,200. India and they have a lot less, like 250 or something. But China's got quite a few, not as much as Russia.
Israel's got a lot.
Yeah, Israel has some too, yeah. And so is Pakistan. They're all nuclear powered. But you start blowing those things off, well, that's just game over then. They know that, you know. But a lot of distractions out there, and I don't know. I'm not 100%. I can't say like 100%. Like, is that a distraction or is that actual? They've always had problems there, eh? So
A bit dubious.
I got the dilapidated garage in Vancouver. In Toronto that we covered. I think it's going for over. Here it is, guys. I just want to throw this up real quick. There's the dilapidated garage in Toronto, and I think it's selling for around $1 million. There it is, right there. We did cover it. Oh, $599. This is the old article. We actually covered this article a year ago, and it was selling for $600,000 for this dilapidated garage. And I think now it is selling for, I think this is the the person that represents the property, sales representative right there. So there it is right there, guys. There's the dilapidated garage. It's back in the news again. It's just a garage. It's not even a house, or there's no plumbing or anything, and it's selling for a lot of money. Go ahead, Raven. I just thought I'd bring that up because we did cover that on the channel.
What I was going to say is, with India there, remember when Modi pulled the 500 and 1,000 rupee off the shelves? They pulled the currency.
Right.
They said 4 hours. You got 4 hours. Boom. They pulled it. Bill Gates and Visa were behind that. They were going after the incremental payments in a digital system. They were doing test runs, right? They pulled those currencies. And I read that Bill Gates and Visa were behind that, and MasterCard and Bill Gates, or Visa. I'm not sure which credit card company it was, but Bill Gates was in on that too. So you can see the usual suspects working with Narendra Modi in India. These usual suspects are connected all through the globe in different things they're doing. And they're connected with the bankers, and they're connected with this whole new world order system. And this whole new world order system happens to own a central bank in China. So now you can connect them to China, you can connect them to India, yet you think India and China are going to nuke each other?
I don't think they're going to nuke each other. I have a feeling that there's...
You know what? These people are all connected. They're playing games. I think this whole thing is a game to control 7.8 billion people. And the minute we wake up, they're all dead. So you better get it right. That's what they're thinking. Yeah, I think it's all BS, the whole thing. I'm done believing anything they're ever going to tell me. Yeah, I just look, where's the lie and what's the actual motive? Like, what are they really doing here? Like Ray Dalio's kid, 42-year-old kid died there. His car swerved over a median through a parking lot, crashed into a Verizon store, caught on fire, and he died. Why did Ray Dalio's kid, who's 42, runs his own investment company, he has a wife, a son, normal guy, doesn't, no problems. Why does this car just take off and go across a bunch of lanes, across a parking lot, and crash and burn? Was it hacked? Now, who's his dad, Ray Dalio? What was Ray Dalio doing for the last year? Oh, that's right. He was warning people to buy gold because Ray Dalio is an honest person. And if anybody was going to see a failure of the system, would be Dalio, right? So I look at situations like that. Was his kid a message? Was that a message for Dalio? Because he stopped talking about gold. I look at these. How are these? There's a lot we don't see. These guys are pulling the wool over our eyes every day. So look deep at everything they say and don't believe anything they say. Anyway,
this almost feels like an episode of Mike in the Night.
Yeah.
Well, we are talking finance, we are talking bonds, we are talking everything, but we are.
I really think people should watch the inflation that's coming this year. Inflation's coming.
Well, how long could they cover it for?
You know what? Right now, people say they're printing. They're not printing. They're adding digits. They're creating currency units. And they're not even spending money. They're spending what they're really spending. They're spending our confidence that it is money. That's what they're spending. Because look at, the more they print, and they play it out so long. Okay, we're going to do the stimulus checks. This, it's so valuable. Oh, we got a 1,400, 2,000, no, 1,200, 14, and they play it out. These guys could sign that bill and have it out tomorrow. But they got to, within 4 weeks, within 6 weeks, we'll get the money. Because that money, you can't just say, here's another trillion, here's another trillion. If they keep saying that, we're going to be like, well, that's just like confetti. Its value will dwindle quickly. You can't have a hyperinflationary event until you have a loss of confidence in your government. And then
that's when you have a runoff on the banking institutions, right?
Well, that's Martin Armstrong. I happen to think Martin Armstrong, and I'm sure Mitch will agree with me. Martin Armstrong, I think, is one of the most brilliant financial minds out there.
We should get him on the show.
You know what? He might come on your show. You never know. I wouldn't want to interview him. Not a chance. Yeah. But he says you're not having a hyperinflationary event until you have a loss of confidence in your government. The loss of confidence, I guess, coincides with a loss of confidence in your currency. So I guess you see them as one entity, right? Mm-hmm. So, and as that goes, then, so they have to suppress gold and silver. It's a national security. They investigated the banks many times. Look
at the Royal Commission. Hold on. Look at the Royal Commission in Australia. The Royal Commission started to investigate the banks in Australia, and they found, I think it was CPAC or CTAC or TAC or what the hell what that bank is called there. I covered it several times on my channel. Westpac, sorry. They had 21 million violations of money laundering, different violations. 21 million in the span of a year.
Wow.
Dude, you can't even count to 21 million in a year, could you? No.
I can't even count to 10.
Yeah.
But regarding like precious metal suppression, Charles Chilton, what's his name? Chilton, that guy. He died, but Bart Chilton, he's the guy. He went in CFTC and he investigated them, and he came back and said we found nothing actionable. Well, I believe they found something, but they couldn't act on it because when you look at the big picture, that's a case of national security. If you take away the suppression of gold and silver, you threaten the value of the dollar. Well, your country's done. Your supremacy in the world is done. It weakens it so much, and it makes the gold and silver the valuable, currency again, the money, right? So I think that it's a national security. They have no choice but to suppress gold and silver. And I don't even think you want to live in a world where gold and silver is not suppressed. What's on the other side of that? That's your transfer of wealth. Mm-hmm. So I'd say to everybody, no matter how much silver is worth, and possibly cryptos too. Like I don't have any cryptos, but cryptos will be good too, I'm sure. Like it doesn't hurt to have a little bit of everything, but I think there's a reason they suppress it so hard. They know it's real money. And at the end of the day, with these guys shutting down the power all over the place, at the end of the day, I want to have something I can hold.
I understand. We got Silver Pill Gary saying silver in the 1980s hit $50. That is over $150 in today's money, yet the price is under $27. Yeah, silver is severely suppressed. I believe silver should be anywhere from $175 to $210. If gold's over, let's say $1,500 an ounce, there's no reason silver shouldn't be sitting at $150 to $200 an ounce. Easy.
They say it's going high triple digits, a lot of them. They're trying to, I only bought 25 ounces the other day to help the squeeze. They're putting up billboards right now. Mm-hmm. Wall Street Silver is getting, what did they get? 60,000 Americans so far donated to their GoFundMe page. They're putting up billboards to talk about the silver squeeze. Mm-hmm. Even my brother bought 25 ounces. He's never bought silver. And 2 days ago, he bought silver the first time he bought 25 ounces. We bought out the store, like this Winnipeg Gold Buyer store. They had 50 ounces. We each bought 25. So we bought them out just to help the silver squeeze. Whenever I see silver, and I'm going to keep buying, I don't care what the price is. I'm just going to keep taking it off the shelf, keep the pressure on them. But they're close. They're close to defaulting.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that was a mouthful. Thank you. Thank you, Raven, for coming on and to fill the gap here. I got a major headache, dude. So I'm going to kind of, gonna take care of some business here at the house. I have to get things prepared for tomorrow. I don't know if I've told you, but I've been renovating my home. I got the contractors in. I had to book them 2 years ago. And they finally came in, and they've been working really hard, and they've been doing a great job here. It's hard to find good help, and it's taken almost 2 years for them to show up, and they're here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm very happy. I'm getting some work done. And the house is just, it's just a gut job. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, I went out to the cottage today. I took my mom out there, and just looking at the work that has to be done. Oh, God. And it's a whole different ball game when you're carrying wood up and down a mountain towards the lake. You know, it's hard to get at.
Just get some Portuguese to help you. They're good at that.
Portuguese. I got lots of Portuguese friends at work.
I'm one of them. Yeah. Not at work, but I'm
good with stone, good with brick.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah. They made Thunder Bay. You ever been to Thunder Bay? No way.
Yes, I have. Of course I've been to Thunder Bay.
Really?
I've been to Thunder Bay in the middle of summer, and it was like 3 degrees there.
Yeah, that whole town's Portuguese built, eh? All the brick there, those houses.
Oh, yeah, I've been to Thunder Bay. My dad actually was contracted to work in Thunder Bay. He would go for 3 weeks, come home for a week, go for 3 weeks, come home for a week. And he was contracted out in Thunder Bay, too. Big jobs up there.
Yeah, good bricklayers.
Yeah.
All right,
Raven, Guy, we'll have you on the show, Mike in the night, maybe, if you get some time. If you're not...
You know what? I'm on holidays. I'm going to work on Friday, so I might be working Saturday night. I'll try and listen in, though. But I think I'll be working. If you're
at work, send us a code in the chat that you're listening, but you're at work, and you shouldn't be listening to us.
Yeah. Okay, I will do.
All right. God bless you, Raven, and we'll have you on the. We'll talk to you soon. Be safe, okay, buddy?
Okay.
Ciao. Right. Bye. All right, guys. It's time to wrap it up, guys. It's been 2 hours, and I got my headache is starting to dissipate, but it's time for me to call it a night. I really appreciate everyone coming out tonight and making a difference on the show. I made it.
Commonwealth for common people.
I want to thank Lord Humongous.
The walls of hell. We're Commonwealth for common people.
Steve Stevens, Mr. Wright, Linny Poo. Woo! We got Tig Nim, Lord Humongous, Dom. Dom is in the house. We got Steve the Plumber, long time no speak. Lord Humongous again, Silver Pill Gary. Who else? Mr. Wright, Alan Howick. Blunt News. We'll get Blunt News hopefully on Mike in the Night if he can make it. Mr. Wright again in the comments. We got tons of people in the comments here. Jay Pastor in the house. Brother Leaf in the house. Peter O'Brien. Woo! Anyways, guys. David B in the house from Australia. CJ in the house. Mitch Madden, Joe Abraham in the house. Bart Jenkins in the house. Oh yeah. Yeah, we should get Blunt News back on a sailboat when the weather's good. Owen in the house, making an appearance. Remember, guys, take care. And if you can't take care, stay safe. Mike Martins, over and out. I have spoken.